wraps you in its velvet hush. The air is soft and still. You lie cocooned in the safety of your bed, blankets heavy, breath slower now. As the world around you begins to dim dot, there's nothing to do here, nowhere to go, just you and the quiet warmth of letting go, just you and the breath that invites peace. You begin to see your desires not as weights, but as feathers, light, gentle, made to float. Not held tight in a closed fist, but placed softly in the wind, and trusted. To return, you picture one now, a single ivory feather resting in the palm of your hand. You hold it there, feeling its softness, feeling the delicate curve, the quiet life inside it. This feather holds a wish, one you've clutched for too long, one that has whispered to you in your waking hours, and followed you into sleep. The feather doesn't want to be forced. It doesn't want to be trapped. It only wants to float, to rise, to find its rhythm in the wind. And so you breathe in, and with your breath out, you open your hand. The feather rises not at first. It lingers near you, hovering in the stillness. Unsure, but you don't reach for it. You watch it lift, graceful, weightless, becoming part of something larger. The air takes it gently, and it begins to drift, spiraling upward and outward, not away, but into motion. This is the law of release. This is how the energy of desire returns. Not through tightness, not through demand, but through trust, through the surrender of needing to control. Your desires are alive. They are energy responding not to effort, but to alignment. And alignment feels like letting go. You let go by exhaling. You let go by relaxing your thoughts. You let go by no longer needing it to happen right now. You let go by saying, I trust that it's on its way, even when I cannot see it. Now imagine the sky, endless, golden streaked. That feather is floating higher now, carried by the universe's invisible hands. Not rushed, not lost, just held. Just like you are held too, by something greater than effort, by something deeper than strategy, by something quieter than control. You begin to remember the energy you offer in this moment is more powerful than any checklist. The calm you radiate becomes the magnet. The openness you create becomes the invitation. You picture all the things you've ever wanted, each one becoming a feather. Some light pink, some golden, some with silver edges. Some are dreams you still carry. Some are ones you've forgotten. You see them all now, resting on your open palms, and one by one, you offer them to the air. Not goodbye, but here you go. Fly where you need to. I trust you'll return when it's right. You don't rush the sky. You don't question the wind. You simply breathe and release, because letting go is not giving up. Letting go is giving trust. Letting go says, I no longer believe that forcing it is the only way. I now believe that flow knows better than force. In this space, something deep inside you starts to soften. The tension in your shoulders, the tightness behind your eyes, the grip in your thoughts, all of it unwinds. You are not here to hold everything. You are not here to carry every outcome. You are here to receive. You are here to rest. You are here to open your hands to the sky and say, I'm ready. Now, not to chase, but to allow. You are no longer trying to control the timeline. You are no longer measuring progress by how hard you try. You are resting in a truth far older than action, the truth that life responds to your frequency, not your frenzy. You are not a machine, you are a signal, and tonight, that signal becomes soft and strong, steady and trusting, a signal that says, I am ready for this in divine timing, not mine. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. Letting go means you care so deeply, you're willing to trust something higher than control. Now, gently, you imagine one specific desire, one that feels close to your heart, not one from pressure, not one from ego, but one that makes your chest feel open, soft. You see it clearly. You feel the shape of it. You feel how you'll be once it arrives. The version of you who already has it. She doesn't rush, he doesn't beg. They don't chase. They simply rest in the knowing. The unshakable, undeniable knowing that it's coming, and you're becoming that version tonight. Not in steps, not in years, but now, because your inner world is shifting, because your hands are open, because your breath is slow, because your energy says, I am already the one who receives. Letting go becomes your quiet revolution, your whispered power. Your surrender is not a weakness, it is a magnetic field of certainty. And as you lie here, you begin to feel something lift, an old belief, a stale thought, a need to prove. It rises like steam and disappears into the night. You smile, just a little, Because something inside you has already changed. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be open, open hands, open heart, open to life meeting you halfway or more. Now you drift deeper, not away from your desires, but toward their true source, not the craving, not the push, but the quiet place inside you that always knew you were safe to want, safe to trust, safe to let go. And in this softness, something new begins to rise, not in urgency, but in readiness, a glow behind your eyelids, a hum beneath your ribs, the quiet magic of alignment, the stillness that calls everything home. As you float on this feeling, you sense the sky beginning to shift. The wind has changed direction. The feather, the one you let go at the start, it's circling back now, still floating, still light, but drawn toward you again, not because you grabbed, but because you released. The desire, too, is coming back, not because you demanded it, but because you matched its energy. In you matched it through peace, you matched it through quiet joy, you matched it through the deepest kind of trust. Now you lie in stillness, but your field is moving, your energy is calling, your frequency is aligned. You feel lighter, clearer, braver, but softer than ever before. Letting go has given you back your power, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that whispers. And in that whisper, you hear the beginning of something new, the beginning of the next unfolding, the next release, the next soft moment where trust becomes everything. But that is a story for another night. You are water now, soft, flowing, quiet. There is no urgency in you tonight, only ease. Only the rhythm of your breath and the whisper of something deeper moving through you. You are no longer standing at the edge trying to map the way. You are in the river. You are becoming the current itself. No paddling, no planning, just trust. This river your life knows the bends. It knows the quiet turns. It knows the still stretches and the wild drops. You were never meant to steer it by force. You were meant to float, to feel, to follow. And tonight, you float. Close your eyes and feel yourself weightless. There's no need to cling to the sides. No need to fight the pull. You are safe. The current is gentle here. This is the flow that waits beneath all effort. This is the energy that carries you when you stop demanding to know how it all works. You begin to remember you were never meant to swim upstream. Your dreams aren't upstream. They're not beyond a battle. They're downriver, softly waiting for you to release your need to control every stroke. Your only task tonight is to lie back, to let the water take you. It's not lazy. It's not giving up. It's the wisdom of alignment. Because what flows glows, and what glows grows. You feel the current beneath your spine. Not rushing, just present. You are supported by something greater. You are held even here. The law of attraction is not about force. It's about matching the river's rhythm. The more gently you move, the more powerfully you receive. You begin to imagine this river as golden light. It winds through a peaceful forest under soft moonlight over smooth stones. Beneath weeping branches that whisper ancient truths. In you are cradled in that light. Your body relaxes, your mind releases. You don't have to figure anything out tonight. You don't have to fix anything. This is not the time for thinking. This is the time for floating. And still, even as you rest, you are moving. You are always moving. Forward, toward. With the universe is not static. It moves with you. And when you relax, it relaxes around you. When you flow, it matches your pace. When you let go, it lets in. You are not meant to control the river. You are meant to trust its intelligence. It carries you where you are meant to go, even when you think it's the wrong way. Even when the water slows or the view disappears. You may not see what's ahead, but the current knows. It has known longer than you've been afraid. It has held your dreams long before you tried to grip them. It is pulling you now, gently, surely, silently. And the more you trust, the more you begin to notice something. The journey is beautiful. It's not just about the destination. It's about how soft the air feels on your cheeks. It's about how the light flickers through the trees. It's about how your body sighs when it stops trying to row against everything. This, too, is manifestation. This surrender. This allowing. This being. Because the most magnetic thing you can do is trust your way forward. And the most magnetic state you can rest in is peace. So you rest. And the river carries you. You remember the times you tried to force the flow. The times you worried the dream would drift too far. Times you paddled until your arms ached only to end up right where you began. And now you do it differently. You say softly, I don't need to rush. I don't need to know. I don't need to grip the oars. The water moves even when you are still. You feel a release, a slow, gentle unclenching inside. Your chest, the knot that's lived there, it begins to loosen. You are not falling behind. You are arriving. Every bend brings you closer, even the ones you didn't plan. And the current, it doesn't punish, it guides, it carries, it blesses even. Now, even here, you are being led. You imagine the dream you carry not in your hand now, but floating beside you. It doesn't need to be chased. It floats with you. Your energy matches its pace. You no longer outrun it. You no longer doubt it. You're companions now. It rides beside you, a feather drifting in the same current. Still close, still coming, because what belongs to you is drawn to your peace, not your panic, not your pressure, your peace. You let the river soothe your thoughts. You let it whisper to your fears. You don't have to know the way. You just have to stay open. There are no wrong turns here. Only new routes. Only rerouted blessings. Only detours that deliver deeper gifts. The river doesn't move in straight lines. Neither does destiny. Neither do you. You are winding beautifully. You are unfolding perfectly. You are floating exactly as you should. You are allowed to let life be this easy. Let that truth settle in. Let it fill your chest. Let it soften your belly. Let it unwind your thoughts and feel yourself drifting deeper. Not into distance, but into knowing you're not alone. The river is alive. It knows you. It holds you. You are not in control, but you are always connected to everything, to all of it. And this is where manifestation begins. Not in force, but in the quiet current beneath your calm. You let go again, not because you're weak, but because you're wise, and the river responds. It shimmers, it lifts, it flows with more ease than ever before. You are moving, even now, especially now. No effort, no pushing, just floating in faith. And somewhere downstream, there's something waiting, a softness, a spark, a smile, but you don't need to reach for it. You'll arrive when it's time. You'll recognize it without force. You'll glide into it without knowing how, because the river always knows. You feel yourself drift now, farther into quiet, into trust, into stillness that moves. And somewhere ahead, not far from here, the current grows warmer, wider, brighter. But that is the next bend. That is the next chapter. That is the next unfolding waiting just around the curve. You lie beneath the vast and endless sky. No walls, no ceilings, just a dome of velvet starlight. Stretching above you, limitless, welcoming still. There is no reaching here, no grasping, no measuring how far you are from what you want. There is only space, and breath, and presence. You feel how your chest rises and falls without effort, without needing to be earned. Your heart knows how to trust this rhythm, and tonight your spirit follows. You spend so much time reaching forward, reaching ahead, reaching beyond this moment. As if the future was somewhere far away. As if your wholeness lived outside of now. But now you rest, and you discover a quiet truth. The sky does not open because you stretch. It opens when you stop. It reveals its brilliance not when you demand it, but when you soften your gaze and begin to receive. You imagine yourself lying in an open field, soft grass beneath you, a warm breeze brushing across your cheeks. You are wrapped in a blanket of safety. There is nothing you need to do, no one you need to become. You are already inside the dream. Above you, the stars begin to shimmer, each one a possibility, each one a desire that no longer runs from your grasp because you stopped chasing. And chasing always made them run faster. But here, in your stillness, they return. You understand now. The sky has always been open. You were just looking too hard to see it. When you stop reaching, you begin to feel. And what you feel is more real than anything you've tried to force. The law of attraction does not respond to tension, it responds to resonance. And resonance only happens in stillness. You picture a hand reaching for the stars, fingers strained, muscles tight, and the stars, they shimmer farther away. Now you picture that hand relaxing, open, soft, unclenched, and the stars, they begin to move closer. This is the shift. This is the return. This is the sky opening itself to you because you are finally open to it. You are no longer asking, when will it happen? You are resting in. It already is. You are no longer begging, please come. You are whispering, I am here. And in this whisper, everything hears you. You feel the energy of allowing settle deep into your bones. It says, I don't need to figure it out. I don't need to prove I deserve it. I only need to remember that I already do. The sky responds to your remembering, to your softness, to your trust dot, and so it opens wide and golden. Not with thunder, not with fanfare, but with a hush so deep it quiets even your oldest doubts. You see your desires not as distant hopes, but as stars that recognize you, as energy that knows your name, as outcomes that feel safe returning because you've stopped chasing them away with fear. You are not behind. You are not off course. You are exactly where receiving begins, here, in stillness, in surrender. In the open sky of your being, you let yourself float upward now, not through effort, but through release. Your soul becomes light, lighter than thought, lighter than planning, lighter than a need to know. And with each breath, you rise closer to the frequency of trust, closer to the you who already has it, closer to the version of you who stopped grasping and started glowing. This is alignment. This is what magnetizes, not control, not timelines, but the calm certainty that what is yours can never miss you. Not if you let it come, not if you invite it with your ease. You picture the sky again, wider now, warmed by your presence. A star breaks loose and falls, a quiet gift returning home. It lands softly in your hand. You didn't reach for it, you didn't strain, it came, because you were open. This is how it works. This is how it always worked. You let the image settle in your mind, you lying in the field. One by one, stars fall quietly into your open palms. Desires, answers, gifts you once tried so hard to find. They come to you now, not through pursuit, but through peace. Because when you stop trying to control the sky, you become part of it. When you stop trying to make the stars move, you begin to feel how they move with you. You have nothing to prove tonight. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible to what you've asked for. The universe remembers. The dream remembers. You remember. And in that remembering, you rest. You are not blocking it anymore. You are breathing with it. You are dreaming in its rhythm. You are quiet enough to hear its next instruction, which is always the same. Trust, let go, be. You feel your body sink deeper into your bed now. The earth holds you. The stars wait for your stillness. You are no longer a seeker. You are now a receiver. And the more you receive, the less you need to chase. The more you allow, the less you need to plan. The more you trust, the more the sky opens. Not just above you, but within you. You become the sky, expansive, open, infinite, still. The thoughts quiet. Breath softens, and somewhere in the spaces between your breaths, you feel it arriving. Not loudly, not suddenly, but steadily. A warm presence, a quiet knowing. A return that only stillness can allow. You let yourself drift with it, not toward sleep, but into sleep. Not away from your dreams, but into the place where they begin forming. Because this rest, this peace is the place where reality reshapes itself. Not in action, not in struggle, but in silence, in softness, in trust. You are already there. You are already in it. You are already aligned. And above you, the sky stretches farther still, inviting more. Always more, but you don't need to reach. You only need to remain right here, right now, open. The sky continues to open with you, and somewhere in that opening, just beyond this breath, a new light begins to rise. The day has come to a close. You feel it settling behind your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a soft trail of memory and light. The air grows still. The world begins to hush. And you prepare to look back gently, slowly, as if flipping through a dream made of golden threads. You are not here to judge the day. You are not here to fix it. You are here to feel it, to gather the tiny sparks that may have gone unnoticed, to hold them up to the light of your presence and let them glow. This is gratitude. Not forced, not loud, but quiet and real, and warm like a candle on a WINDOWSILL. You begin by breathing. A soft inhale and an even softer exhale, and with each breath you move backward, not in regret, but in reverence. You see the morning light returning, the way it filtered through the curtains, the first sip of something warm, the silence before the noise. You pause there, and you say softly, thank you, not out loud, even in thought, just in feeling. Gratitude doesn't need a voice, it just needs space to bloom. And in that space, the day unfolds. You remember something small, a smile from someone, a breeze that kissed your skin, a moment of ease. You let yourself feel it again, as if it's happening now, because in a way, It is. Gratitude is timeless. It stretches moments like thread, connecting then and now, turning memory into energy, and energy into magnetism. The law of attraction responds not to the size of your joy, but to the sincerity of it. Even a whisper of gratitude can call in oceans of blessings. So you whisper again, inwardly, gently, thank you for that moment. And as you do, another rises, then another, and another. You don't need to look for the grand. Tonight, you gather the simple, the laugh you heard, the soft thing you said to yourself, the food you tasted, the comfort you felt for no reason at all. Each one is a flame in the dark. Each one says you were never as far from joy as you thought. You're not chasing good feelings. You're noticing them, and noticing is how they grow. You are the witness now, not the doer, not the planner, just the one who remembers with love, with softness, with peace. You see yourself moving through the day, moment by moment, and instead of regret, you send grace. Instead of judgment, you send kindness, and for each part of your day, you ask, only this, what beauty lived here? Sometimes the beauty was quiet. Sometimes it was hidden in an inconvenience. Sometimes it was wrapped in discomfort. But it was always there. Always. You just had to be still enough to find it. Now you begin to feel your energy shift. From grasping to receiving. From what you missed to what you gathered. From what went wrong to what went right enough to smile about. You don't need to list them all. Just feel them, like little stars twinkling inside your chest. This is not a mental exercise. This is a remembering. This is a returning. Your body begins to respond. Your breath slows, your thoughts thin, and your heart opens, just enough for more light to enter. Gratitude opens doors you didn't know were closed, because when you say thank you for what you have, you make room for more, not out of lack, but out of love. The universe listens when your energy smiles, and right now you are smiling without even trying, because the warmth is real, the memory is alive, and the peace is earned. Not through effort, but through softness, you return again to the image of the day behind you. But now it glows, not as a series of tasks, but as a string of lights gently swaying in your soul. You see the morning, the midday, the evening, each a chapter, each with a flicker of grace. You don't rush, you don't skim. You let it wash over you like a warm bath of memory and meaning. And for the parts that felt heavy, you place a hand over your heart and say, even that, I survived. Even that, I honor. Even that, had something for me to carry forward. Gratitude doesn't skip the hard parts. It transforms them. It doesn't pretend pain doesn't exist. It just says, and still, I can find the light here. And so you do. In the middle of the noise. You find one quiet moment. You hold it like a stone in your pocket. And you smile at it, knowing it was always meant for you. You feel yourself settling now. Not just into your bed, but into your being. The muscles relax. The breath flows. And the space around you thickens with peace. You are beginning to radiate, not because of what's coming, but because of what already was. This is where the magic lives, not in what you're chasing, but in what you're cherishing. And you begin to understand something deeper. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a signal, beacon, a doorway. It tells the universe, I am aware of the blessings. I am ready to receive more. I am aligned with love. And when you align with love, you don't have to demand. You simply draw it in quietly, steadily, completely. You feel your chest now, warm and slow. Your hands relax, your forehead softens, your inner world expands. And as it expands, so does your field, your vibration, your pull. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to visualize. You don't need to affirm. Not tonight. Gratitude is doing the work for you. It is rewriting the code of your energy. It is painting the walls of your subconscious. It is planting the seeds of even more to come. All because you paused and noticed and felt. You are becoming the kind of person who sees light even in the dimmest corners. You are becoming a magnet for meaning. You don't need to know how it all works. You just need to keep whispering, thank you, thank you, thank you. The words become waves now, lapping against the shore of your thoughts, lulling you into a deeper rhythm, a slower state, a wider sky. You feel your body melting into rest. You feel the gratitude wrapping around you like a soft blanket, one that says you are safe, you are loved, you are seen. And the whole day glows behind you, even the parts you thought you'd forget, even the parts you thought didn't matter. They all shimmer now because you chose to see them again. Through love, through grace, through quiet thanks, you are not the same as you were this morning. Something has shifted gently, deeply, permanently, and in that shift, more begins to move toward you. More peace, more beauty, more ease. For gifts wrapped in the present moment, and perhaps, just beyond this moment, you'll discover how these small glimmers begin to bloom into something even more. Night deepens and the earth quiets with you. Somewhere far beneath the hum of thoughts, you're arriving in a place where seeds take root. You didn't notice them at first. Tiny moments, fleeting smiles. The gentle warmth of sunlight on your face, they came and passed, soft and small, and yet they stayed. Because gratitude, when felt, plants things, invisible things, living things, and tonight, you begin to walk through the garden they become. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. The way every thank you turns into a bloom. The way every breath of appreciation sprouts into something golden. You begin to walk barefoot now, inward, along a path that wasn't paved but grown. Soft grass, velvety petals. The night air hums with the scent of memory. You recognize it as your own energy given form. Each flower holds a moment you once honored, a glance you paused to cherish, a conversation you didn't take for granted, a cup of tea, a full belly, a quiet breath. You bend down and touch a bloom. It lights beneath your fingers, not with fire, but with memory. The feeling returns and your body remembers, yes, that was real, that was good, that mattered. You never needed to hold on to the moment, you only needed to thank it. Gratitude made it eternal. That is how this garden grew, not by clinging, not by perfect days, but by noticing the sacred in the ordinary. You begin to move deeper. The path curves now through a grove of tall, glowing trees. Their branches hold words you once whispered. I'm grateful, that felt nice, this moment is enough. Each one is written in light, curling and delicate. You didn't know you were planting them, but you were. Every time you chose to be present, every time you chose to notice, every time you chose to say thank you instead of why me, you gave roots to something invisible. The law of attraction listens to what you water, and gratitude is water made of love. What you think, thanks you back, and what you appreciate, appreciates. You pause at a fountain. Its water sings, not loudly, just a melodic murmur, as if the garden itself hums in joy. You sit beside it, and you feel it cold in peace, not the peace of escape, but the peace of knowing you were already surrounded by everything you ever needed. You just hadn't slowed down enough to see it. This is how receiving begins, not with wanting more, but with loving what is. And suddenly, you understand abundance doesn't mean more, it means enough. And you are surrounded by enough breath, enough softness, enough moments, enough beauty. You feel it now, like warm sunlight through closed eyes, like steady rain on a quiet window. And in this garden, you begin to grow to not taller, not faster, just deeper, more rooted, more alive. You are no longer trying to get something. You are simply witnessing all that you've already received. And it is vast, it is holy. You remember now that time you cried and someone stayed. That meal you didn't cook but got to enjoy. That stranger who held the door. That breeze that touched your neck when you were too tense to speak. You never lost those things. They've lived here all along, blooming in your garden. And now you walk through them. You breathe their perfume. You feel your heart open. This is why gratitude matters. Not because it's polite, not because it's spiritual, but because it turns time into nourishment. It turns memories into roots. It turns life into life-giving. You find a tree now older than the rest. Its trunk is carved with a single word. Still here, still growing, still good. And you realize not all days were joyful, but some of your deepest gratitude was born in the hardest ones. Not for the pain, but for the way it softened you. Not for the loss, but for the way it taught you presence. Not for what happened, but for who you became after. Even that you can thank. And as you do, this tree begins to glow from within. The bark pulses, the roots tremble, and you feel it. You are transforming again. Gratitude doesn't deny pain. It just finds the jewel inside it and brings it forward. That's what you're doing now. You sit beneath the tree. The grass is cool. The wind is gentle, and you begin to think without needing to understand. You thank the moments that made you laugh, the silence that made you listen, pauses that kept you still, the people who reminded you of yourself, the days that didn't go as planned but brought you here. And here is beautiful. Here is where your vibration rises without you needing to try. Here is where receiving becomes natural. Here is where peace roots itself in your chest. As your vibration rises, the flowers around you begin to open. Wider, petals stretch, colors brighten, the garden responds. Because everything responds to appreciation, even your own soul. You realize now you are the gardener, and the garden, you are the one who gives thanks, and the one who receives it. You are not apart from this beauty, you are made of it. The garden isn't a dream, it's a reflection of every good moment you noticed, every loving thought you allowed, every small joy you didn't take for granted. They built this, you built this, and there's more too. Come, so much more, because you're beginning to see that thank you is a spell. It opens doors. It lifts veils, it calls in more of itself. So you say it again, softly, wordlessly, with your body, with your presence, with your breath. Thank you. The wind hears you, the trees lean in, the soil vibrates, and you glow. You stand now, but you don't leave. The garden lives in you. You carry it with you into dreams, into waking, into everything. You are becoming a living field of gratitude, one that draws more blessings simply by being. No affirmations needed. No pressure, just a quiet smile of one who finally sees what's already here. And beyond this garden, beyond the trees, there's something even more tender waiting to grow. Bloom that begins only when gratitude becomes your breath. It is the quietest part of the night. The sky holds its breath. The stars shimmer slowly like ancient lanterns suspended over your soul. You are deeply relaxed now, not from stillness alone, but from something softer, deeper. Gratitude. It lives in you now, not as a word, but as a rhythm. You've walked backward through your day. You've entered the garden that bloomed from your noticing, and now you face forward, but not with urgency, not with reach. You face the future with the still, glowing warmth of someone who knows the power of thank you. Because gratitude doesn't just look back, it calls ahead, it echoes through time, planting light in places you haven't yet walked, and you feel it. That echo stretching out from your chest, gently expanding into tomorrow. Not a wave crashing forward, just a hum, a soft frequency that the universe hears. This soul is ready, it says. This soul is aware. This soul knows how to hold beauty, and so the universe responds. It answers your gratitude with more to be grateful for, not as a reward, but as a reflection, because that is how the law of attraction works. It mirrors your state, not your words, your frequency, and your frequency tonight is full of golden echoes. You begin to imagine the path ahead, not in detail, not with specifics, but as soft light spilling forward into the dark. Each step lit by a thank you you've already whispered. It's not what you'll do that matters, it's what you'll feel, and what you're feeling now is the most powerful thing you can bring forward. You are already aligned with a future that feels like peace, and so it begins to find you. Because when you say thank you in advance, for the joy that hasn't arrived, for the answer that's still forming, for the miracle that's almost here, you create space. Space for life to enter, space for the echo to become real. You say, thank you for the home that holds me, thank you for the love that sees me, thank you for the health that flows through me, thank you for the dream that's on its way, not to beg, not to rush, but to feel, to align, to match, because everything begins in feeling. You lie in bed now, but your heart is moving ahead. Your energy is preparing rooms for blessings that are still on the road. And the blessings, they hear you, they feel welcome, they come closer. This is what gratitude does. It opens doors before anyone knocks. It sets the table before you know who's coming. It says, I believe in goodness even before I see it. I trust in the unseen. I receive before there's anything in my hands. And that is the frequency of miracles. You feel a smile at the edge of your lips, not from anything in particular, just from knowing you are no longer waiting to be joyful. You are joyful now, and joy attracts joy. You breathe in slowly, and with your exhale, you release even more resistance, more expectation, more pressure. You don't need to control it. You don't need to know the form. You only need to stay open and grateful and gently willing to receive. You picture your future now not as a staircase to climb, but as a horizon that rises to meet your step. It's not far away, it's not hidden. It's just waiting for your calm energy to echo into it. And tonight, it does. You imagine the morning sun still hours away, already glowing in the distance. It smiles at your vibration. It sees the seeds of thanks you planted in the dark, and it prepares the light to make them bloom. this is how tomorrow changes. Not through worry, not through hustle, but through this, a soul at peace, a mind unclenched. Body that says thank you even now. And even now, your gratitude is working, not loudly, not fast, but deeply. You can't see the roots growing, but you can trust they are. You can't hear the future forming, but you can feel its breath against your cheek dot, and so you breathe with it. You become a partner with life instead of its pursuer. You move together, you listen, you receive. Gratitude makes you magnetic, not because it's magic, but because it's truth. The truth that what you already have is more than enough to open the gates to what you've asked for. And as you rest here, your whole field becomes a magnet, not straining, just glowing dot, not calling out, just drawing in. And the universe answers that glow dot. It answers it in subtle nudges, in perfect timing, in quiet yeses that appear when you least expect them, but most trust them. You begin to see it now, a version of you already receiving, already living what you once only dreamed of. And that version of you is whispering back to now, thank you for trusting, thank you for staying soft, thank you for believing before you had proof. And you, here, resting still and whole, you reply without speaking, thank you for becoming. The echo moves both ways, forward and back, future and present, you are both. And your thanks echoes beyond you, into your relationships, into your work, into your body, into the invisible threads that tie it all together. You don't need to hold the outcome. You only need to hold the frequency, and the frequency is gratitude, the deep kind that breathes while you sleep, the kind that keeps calling even when your eyes are closed. You feel it now, settling in your chest, expanding through your ribs, becoming part of your breath. You are not ending something tonight, you are beginning it, not with noise, not with effort, but with stillness and sincerity, because sincerity is the most radiant language of all. And this sincerity, this true, quiet gratitude will keep unfolding, keep calling, keep blooming long after your body slips into sleep. You feel the future leaning toward you now, like a flower toward light. And your only job is to keep glowing, to keep soft, to keep open, to keep whispering, thank you even now, thank you even here, thank you even when I don't know what's next. You may not know what's next, but your gratitude already does dot, and somewhere ahead, in the quiet soil of a moment you haven't reached yet, a bloom begins to stir. The night has settled, and with it, a hush so gentle it feels like the world is holding its breath just to make space for you. You are safe here, safe to see yourself, not as others see you, not as you've been conditioned to believe, but as you truly are. Tonight is not for striving. Tonight is for returning to the softness of your own worth, to the quiet radiance you've carried all along. There is a mirror before you. Not of glass, not of judgment, but of energy. This mirror doesn't show flaws, it shows essence. It doesn't reflect what's on the surface. It reveals what lives beneath, the golden pulse of enoughness that's been with you since before the beginning. You breathe in, and as you exhale, you take a step toward this mirror, not with fear, but with willingness. You're ready to see yourself, not the version that performs, not the one that pleases, not the one that earns love through doing, but the version that just is soft, present, complete. The mirror does not flinch. It does not evaluate. It does not analyze. It only welcomes, and what it reflects back is light. Your light, a soft, steady glow that pulses gently in your chest, not because of what you've accomplished, but because you exist. You begin to see it, how you have always been enough, even before the praise, even without the approval. Even in your quietest moments, you feel it now, the deep sigh rising from your heart, the tension loosening in your shoulders, the small voice inside that whispers, I don't have to try so hard anymore. You don't. Your worth has never been in your effort. It's been in your being. And being is something you do perfectly. You step closer to the mirror. It shows you memories not of achievements, but of presence. You as a child laughing without reason, you in silence, feeling without apology, you in stillness, existing without explanation. The mirror shows you how you have always carried value, not because you offered something, but because you are something irreplaceable, something eternal, something whole. You feel your heart stretch to hold this truth. It may feel unfamiliar. That's okay. It's not because it's not true. It's because you've been taught otherwise. But you are unlearning now, unlearning the lie that you must earn your place, unlearning the myth that you are only worthy when you give, do, or that still hold shame, still hold the not enough story, still carry the ache of invisibility, but you don't turn away. You stay with those parts, not to fix them, but to love them. Because loving yourself doesn't mean only seeing the light. It means embracing the shadows too, not as failures, but as misunderstood beauty. You place your hand on the mirror, and the mirror ripples because your touch carries compassion now. You are no longer judging yourself by impossible standards. You are no longer withholding love until you reach some imagined perfection. You are offering it now, freely, tenderly, like rain on dry earth. And the dry places within you, they begin to soften, to open, to bloom. This is how self-worth returns, not in thunder, not in applause, but in a quiet choice to say, I am worthy now, as I am, without delay. The mirror fades, and in its place you see yourself, not as a reflection, but as a presence, a being of quiet dignity, a soul of infinite worth. There is nothing more to fix, nothing missing, nothing required. You are already home. You feel it in your body now, the shift. Your shoulders lower. Your breath flows easier. The grip of needing to be more releases. You are not here to be more. You are here to be. And your being is beautiful. You return to your breath. It cradles you. Each inhale a reminder. You deserve this air. Each exhale a truth. You don't have to earn this moment. You begin to float now. Not in space, but in yourself. Carried by your own worth. Held by your own love. Buoyed by the quiet strength of someone who knows they matter, not because of what they do, but because of who they are. You are not a problem to solve. You are a mystery to honor. You are not a machine to optimize. You are a soul to cradle. You rest deeper now because self-worth is restful. It doesn't ask you to perform. It invites you to be soft, to be real, to be human and divine. You wrap yourself in that truth now, like a blanket of velvet and starlight. Like the voice of someone who has always loved you, even when you forgot how to love yourself. You feel the parts of you that were waiting for permission. To rest, to feel, to belong. You give them that permission now, and they become still. You no longer need the mirror, because the reflection lives within you. You can close your eyes now and still see your own light. You can fall asleep knowing that nothing needs to change for you to be loved. You are not a project. You are a presence. You are not almost there. You are already here, and you belong to yourself. Last night you drift, wrapped in the truth that your worth is not a goal, but a given. And somewhere within that stillness, a new version of you begins to rise beneath the still surface of your breath, beneath your thoughts. Beneath every story you've ever believed about who you need to be, there is a garden. You didn't build it. You didn't plant it. It was already there. Quiet, unnoticed, waiting. And tonight, you begin to return to it. This garden lives within you, not in your mind, not in your past, but in your being, your truest being, the one that has always known you are worthy. You are enough. You are already whole. You close your eyes now and feel the doorway open. It doesn't creak or cry. It opens like petals, like trust, like the first breath after holding too much. The air shifts, the space expands, and you are inside. The garden welcomes you with the tenderness of something that's never needed you to change. It hasn't judged you for forgetting. It hasn't withered while you tried to become better. It's only waited patiently, lovingly for your return. You walk slowly. The earth beneath your feet is soft, living, made of all the parts of you that you once rejected and are now beginning to hold. You see blooms that shimmer with memories, a soft blue flower glowing with the light of your childhood innocence. A golden vine wrapping around your chest, fed by every moment you stood back up after doubting your worth. Each leaf, each petal, each stem, it all reflects you, not the you that works to deserve, not the you that performs to belong, but the you that simply is here. You do not need to do anything to be seen. The garden already sees you, it knows you, it mirrors you, it breathes in rhythm with your heart. You pause beside a small pool of water, its surface is still. You kneel down, and for the first time, you see your reflection not distorted by comparison, not clouded by shame, but held in light. You in your softness, you in your being, you without effort, and you whisper, maybe for the first time in years, I see you, not because of what you've done, not because of who you've pleased, just because you are not. This simple recognition opens something deep. A petal within your soul begins to unfold. You feel it, a warmth in your chest, a stillness behind your ribs. The place where your worth has always lived. It has never left. You simply stopped listening. But now in this garden, you hear it again. It speaks without words. It tells you you're not broken, you're not too late, you're not too much. You are already it, already worthy, already radiant, already enough. Tears may rise, not from pain, but from remembering how long you've longed for this feeling, the safety of being whole. You walk further now, deeper into the garden. Every step is a reclamation. Every flower you pass blossoms a little wider. You see colors you've never seen. Smell fragrances made of memory and hope. You are inside your own aliveness, a world made entirely of your self-worth. And the most miraculous thing, it's always been here, even when you forgot. Even when you believe you are unworthy, this garden never stopped growing. Because your worth is not determined by awareness, it is not earned by attention. It is not undone by forgetting. It simply is. It exists like breath, like stars, like love. You find a stone bench now, worn smooth by time. You sit, and for a moment, you let the stillness hold you. No thoughts to change, no energy to fix, just you and your garden and the sound of wholeness. From this place you begin to feel how the world shifts when you live from your worth, not because you shout, not because you demand, but because you resonate. When you know who you are, the world reflects it. Opportunities respond to your wholeness. People meet you at your level of self-respect. Blessings arrive not because you beg for them, but because you match them. You don't chase anymore. You draw in, not from need, but from knowing. You close your eyes now and imagine one thing you've long wanted, something you used to believe. You had to earn. Now imagine receiving it, not because you achieved more, but because you align more. You align with your true self, the you that this garden knows so intimately. The you who is no longer afraid to rest, to say no, to say yes, to be seen as they are. You feel it in your chest, how powerful it is to not need to be more. This is not giving up. This is giving permission to live, to glow, to belong to yourself. And from that belonging, everything else flows. You stand now, not taller, but deeper, more rooted, more connected to the truth beneath your stories. You turn one last time to look at your garden, and you realize this is not a separate place. This is you. Every flower, a reflection of your softness. Every tree, a mirror of your strength. Every breeze, a whisper from your soul. You carry this with you, not in your mind, but in your energy. You do not need to return here again because you never truly left. You are the garden. You are the soil, you are the sun, and your worth is blooming with every breath you take. You leave the bench. The path leads you back to the threshold of your awareness. The world awaits, but you return to it differently. You do not go back empty. You go back whole. And as you cross the doorway between deep self and gentle waking, you carry one truth above all. I am already everything I need to be, and just beyond this doorway, a new feeling begins to rise, not confidence, but embodiment. You rest now in the softest knowing, not a thought, not a hope, but a remembering. You are not becoming anything new tonight. You are becoming what you always were. The glow was never outside you. It was never in the approval, never in the applause, never in the outcome. It lived beneath your skin, beneath your breath, beneath every layer you put on to feel like enough. And now, you begin to remove them gently, lovingly, layer by layer, like petals falling in slow motion onto sacred earth. Not because you're discarding anything, but because you're returning to what has always waited beneath. There is no rush. This becoming is not hurried. It is slow, like dawn rising without needing to announce itself. You feel it already, the weight you no longer carry. The old story loosening its grip, the voice of unworthiness no longer shouting, just whispering, and then fading. You don't have to fight it, you simply outgrow it. Because your worth is no longer a debate. It is a frequency, a home you now. Remember how to live, and you begin to rise into it, not by climbing, but by softening. By softening. You lie here, wrapped in stillness, and you feel your true self press gently against your edges. Not asking for change, not asking for more, just asking to be led in, to be led forward, to take the space you once gave away. And so you make space inside your chest, inside your thoughts, inside the way you breathe. You're not just thinking differently, you're vibrating differently. Because when you claim your worth, your whole energy reorganizes. People feel it, life feels it. Opportunities rearrange themselves to meet this new. Self-perception you now were like a second skin. You feel it as a hum, subtle, soft, but steady. The hum of being someone who no longer tries to prove. Someone who knows, I don't have to earn the love I already am. This is the truth now. And you are living it, not in action, but in presence. You see yourself not as a project, but as a soul with texture, with depth, with history and softness in storms. And still, whole, still enough, still radiant. You imagine looking in a mirror now, not of reflection, but of recognition. You meet your own gaze and see someone who has stopped abandoning themselves, someone who no longer waits for permission to be proud, to be rested, to be seen. You see yourself and you nod. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is yours, and that makes it sacred. This is not the voice of ego. This is the voice of essence, the part of you that has always known you are worthy of softness, of gentleness, of celebration, even without achievement. Especially without achievement, because worth is not a reward. It is the beginning. It is the baseline. It is the soil that allows everything else to grow, and you are planted in it now, rooted, still. You rest in the center of your own light, not pushing, not reaching, just radiating. As you radiate, you notice something. There is nothing left to chase, not love, not validation, not enoughness, because you are already the one you are waiting for, the version of you who no longer asks, am I allowed to feel proud of myself? But instead says, I was always worth celebrating. You whisper it now, not loud, but real. I was always worth celebrating. I am allowed to rest in my own light. I no longer shrink to be chosen. Each word becomes a thread weaving itself into your being, into your nervous system, into your sense of home. And you feel it, deep, cellular. This isn't just a belief, it's a becoming. You are integrating the truth you spent so long searching for. And the search is over now. You don't need to find your worth. You need only to live from it, to walk with it, to speak from it, to breathe into it until it becomes the ground beneath your every step. You are not arrogant. You are aligned. You are not selfish. You are sacred. And every part of you that once thought it had to be more, to be different, to be pleasing, those parts are resting now, softening, melting. You thank them, not because they were wrong, but because they tried to protect you. And now, you no longer need protection. You need presence. You need embodiment. And you have it. Here, now, in this breath, in this glow. You begin to imagine tomorrow, not with anxiety, but with quiet power. What would it look like to live from this worth? To walk through the day without shrinking, to speak without editing your soul. You see it now, a version of you who smiles without apology, who sets boundaries not to push people away, but to honor the space you've earned. This is who you are becoming, not later, now not in the world. It rearranges around your vibration. You no longer ask, will they like me? You ask, do I feel true in this moment? And truth is the compass now, not performance, not perfection, but truth. And your truth is this: you are enough, as you are, as you've always been, as you will be tomorrow. And from this enoughness, you bloom, not all at once, not with effort, but slowly, like the moon rising over a field that's finally ready to be seen. Let yourself be seen now, by yourself most of all. And the more you see, the more you soften. The more you soften, the more you allow. The more you allow, the more you become, not someone else, but more you. You drift in this truth. You breathe in it. It wraps around you like a silk blanket stitched from every moment you almost forgot your radiance, but chose to remember instead. You don't need another mirror. You don't need more proof. You need only the stillness, because the stillness knows, and in the stillness you become. You become not by striving, not by fixing, not by proving, but by resting in the glow of the worth you always were. And just as you begin to close your eyes even deeper than before, you sense it, a new feeling rising from within, not of rival, but of readiness. There is more than you can see. Beneath the surface, beneath the noise, beneath the stories of scarcity that once whispered to you, there is a quiet current, carrying all that you've asked for. You lie still now, wrapped in night, cradled by soft silence. And just beneath your awareness, something begins to stir. This chapter begins with a remembering, not of what you lack, but of what is waiting. The abundance that moves toward you, not with force, but with certainty. It is like water beneath. Dry earth, still, invisible, unstoppable. You do not need to search for it. You need only to feel it. Close your eyes now. Imagine yourself lying in a wide, open field. The soil beneath you is warm. The sky above stretches wide with gentle stars. And below the surface, deep beneath your body, there are rivers. Rivers of gold, of opportunity, of more than enough. You don't see them, you don't hear them, but they are moving, flowing toward you because you've already asked. You have already planted your desires. You have already set your intentions, and the earth has listened. It does not ask you to dig. It does not ask you to push. It only asks you to rest in the knowing that something is already growing. This is the truth about abundance. It does not arrive through strain. It arrives through trust. You don't force rivers to rise. You feel their timing. You align with their rhythm, and you allow them to meet you tonight. You allow you place your palms on the imaginary earth beneath you. Feel the heartbeat of it. Feel how it hums with unseen wealth, not just money, but joy, peace, support, freedom, ease. Abundance isn't just a number in a bank account. It's the breath you take without needing to earn it. It's the love that flows in without you asking. It's the sunrise that comes no matter how the night felt. And you are aligned with it now, because alignment isn't something you chase. It's something you relax into. Feel the relaxation now in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your belly. Feel the way your body releases effort, and notice what opens in its place. You don't have to make abundance happen. You only have to become someone who welcomes it in, and that becoming begins in rest. In this rest, you begin to remember the truth you've always known. The universe is generous. It is not withholding. It is not testing you. It is not waiting for you to be more worthy. It is only waiting for you to stop gripping, to stop needing proof, to stop tying abundance to how hard you work. It is waiting for you to receive. Receiving is what you practice tonight. You imagine the rivers beneath, the soil carrying exactly what you've asked for, gently flowing toward the roots of your life, nourishing your path, soaking into your field of becoming. You see the water rise, not as a flood, but as a slow, sure movement of divine provision. It doesn't rush. It doesn't doubt. It knows where you are. It knows what you've asked for. It knows when to rise, and it is rising now. You let your breath follow its rhythm. Inhale. Feel the wealth of possibility. Exhale. Release every story that says you are not enough. Let go of the scarcity you inherited, the fear you absorbed, the belief that more must be earned through suffering. You are rewriting those patterns tonight, not with effort, but with stillness. Stillness is not emptiness, it is receptivity. It is the space where new frequencies enter, and the frequency you hold now is abundance. Not the kind that panics, the kind that trusts, the kind that says it's already on its way. I don't have to force it to prove it exists. I don't have to exhaust myself to be deserving. You are deserving now as you are, right here. And from that worthiness, the soil beneath you responds. You begin to feel something shift in your imagination, in your energy, in your nervous system. A soft, subtle warmth spreads across your body. It is the glow of welcoming, the heat of alignment, the signal that your field is ready to receive. You don't need to plan. You don't need to calculate. You don't need to perform. You only need to say, I am open now. And you are open to unexpected ease, open to gentle miracles, open to being supported in ways you never allowed before. And the rivers, they feel that openness. They sense the shift, and they move faster. Still gentle, still sacred, but no longer waiting at a distance. They begin to rise toward the surface. You don't need to watch. You don't need to check. You only need to trust that they are already nourishing your roots, and they are. You lie back now, deeper into the field. You let the stars hold your gaze, and for the first time in a long time, you feel full. Not because you received something, but because you remembered it was already on its way. You remember that there are rivers beneath the soil of your life, carrying everything you've been asking for. They've been flowing since the moment you asked, since the moment you believed, since the moment you dreamed. And now you believe again, not loudly, not blindly, but gently, softly, surely. This belief doesn't have to shout. It hums, it pulses, it aligns, and abundance follows it. You feel your body surrender to gravity now, not as heaviness, but as permission. Permission to rest, permission to be, permission to know that your becoming does not require burnout. It requires softness. You close your eyes, but within you still see the rivers. Still feel them, still trust them. They are there, even when you're not looking, even when you forget, and they are moving right now. this very moment, toward you, for you, with love, and just before sleep pulls you deeper, you hear it, a whisper from the soil, a murmur from the water. You don't have to dig to find me. Just believe that I'm already here, and somewhere just beyond the edge of thought, you begin to feel something rise, not just from beneath, but from within. Tonight, you begin to trade in a new currency, not dollars, not time, not effort or hours worked, but joy. Joy becomes your wealth now. Joy becomes your offering. Joy becomes your most magnetic state, because joy, real joy, is abundance speaking through feeling. It is the frequency of yes, of trust, of already having dot, and in the language of the universe. Joy is the clearest signal of readiness to receive. You lie still now, wrapped in the hush of night, and imagine joy not as excitement, not as loud laughter, but as warmth, a soft glow in your chest. A golden flame that doesn't burn, it glows, steady, quiet, sure. You breathe into that space, and something within you softens, because joy doesn't ask anything of you. It doesn't wait for a reason. It doesn't depend on conditions. It exists because you do. It lives inside the now, and the now is always enough. You feel into it, this moment, this breath, this body, this peace. You are already here, already breathing, already surrounded by gifts. Joy says, what if this is already enough? And from that energy, or begins to move toward you, not because you chased it, not because you worked harder, but because you felt like you already had it. That is the secret. You don't receive abundance through lack. You receive abundance through wholeness, and joy is the language of wholeness. So tonight, you begin to shift from effort to emotion, from doing to being, from pressure to play. You imagine your inner world now like a marketplace of energy, tables, filled not with coins or contracts, but with color, with music, with laughter, with presence. You walk through this marketplace with ease. You carry nothing but your own light, and everything you touch responds. Doors open, paths unfold, hands extend, because you are not trying to get something. You are simply being someone who lives in the feeling of already having, of already receiving, of already being enough. This is not fantasy. This is frequency, and the universe always responds to frequency. You remember now how easy it felt as a child to want something and believe it was coming, just because you wanted it. That was joy, that was purity, that was truth, and that truth still lives inside you, buried maybe, but not gone. You begin to breathe life into it again, gently, one memory at a time, a moment when you felt free, a morning that smelled like safety, a glance that reminded you of love, a laugh that belonged to your soul. You gather these memories now like flowers into a basket. You carry them inside, and your vibration rises. You are no longer carrying the energy of want. You are holding the energy of joy, and that energy does more than any strategy. It invites, it aligns, it attracts. You see yourself now not as someone trying to get rich, but as someone who already feels rich. Rich in time, rich in peace, rich in meaning, rich in self. This richness lives in your smile, in your slowness, in the way you walk without rushing, in the way you speak with presence. Abundance is not just what enters your life, it's how you move through it. And when you move with joy, you move with power. Power that doesn't push, power that allows, power that trusts. You feel that trust now, like a current beneath your calm. It whispers, you don't need to force this. You don't need to prove you're ready. You are ready because you feel good now, and feeling good is the most magnetic thing you can do. You are not faking it, you are finding it, you are choosing it over and over, moment by moment. And each time you choose joy, you choose to say, I believe I am already supported. I believe I am already provided for. I believe it's already working. And so it works, because belief is the engine, and joy is the fuel. You imagine yourself now living one full day in this vibration, waking up slowly, feeling grateful before checking anything, savoring your tea, walking with curiosity, speaking with softness, smiling when there's no reason, and watching as life begins to match that frequency. Emails arrive with opportunity. Phone calls bring unexpected ease. Ideas land effortlessly, not because you chase them, but because you dance with them. And the universe loves to dance. You don't need a plan right now. You need a feeling, and you have it. That feeling is joy, not the loud kind. Kind that hums under your skin and says, I'm already okay. More is just a bonus. You begin to trust in something deeper, the idea that what brings you joy is not random, it is instruction. It is divine. Follow the glow, follow the laughter, follow the ease. That is your path to abundance. Not the hardest way, the most delightful one. You are allowed to feel good and still receive. You are allowed to feel good because you're receiving. And you are allowed to feel good even before anything changes, because that feeling is the change. It is the signal, it is the gateway. It is the vibration that tells the universe, I'm ready now. You feel that readiness in your bones. Not as effort, but as joy. You let it fill you, like golden light, like warm honey, like soft music drifting through a window. And you lie back in it, held, whole, happy. And the more you feel this, the more your energy opens. The more your field glows, the more the path ahead responds, because joy isn't selfish. It's generous. It blesses every room you walk into. It feeds everyone who meets your gaze. It expands everything you touch. This is the truest abundance. When your presence becomes a gift, when your energy feeds more than just you, when your joy spills into every space you enter, and you are becoming that kind of presence. Not by trying, but by trusting. By choosing the frequency that feels like home, and tonight that frequency holds you, soft, slow, sacred. You lie in it now, this currency of joy, and you feel the universe respond, not with noise, not with speed, but with alignment. And just before you drift deeper into the quiet of your own becoming, you sense something near, not a payment, but a presence, something coming toward you, not because you earned it, but because you smiled first. You are safe now, softly held by the quiet arms of night. The world has faded to a gentle blur, and in its place abundance arrives not as noise, but as silence that sings. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to reach for. This is not the time for striving. This is the moment for surrender, the kind that feels like sliding into velvet, like falling back into the arms of a universe that never let go. You are not outside of abundance. You are wrapped in it, cradled, nourished, known. Tonight you sleep in the lap of plenty. Imagine it now. Your bed becomes a field, not of grass or grain, but of golden light. It rises in waves beneath you, pillowy and warm, like the gentle breath of something ancient and generous. This field is made of yes. Yes to your becoming, yes to your enoughness, yes to the truth that there is more than enough for you, for everyone, for always. You rest here, without explanation, without justification. You don't need to be productive to be provided for. You don't need to be perfect to be supported. You don't need to be busy to be blessed. You are already enough, and enoughness is fertile ground. Abundance does not come from force, it comes from allowing. It finds you when your walls come down, when your breath slows, when your body feels safe again. And tonight, your body feels safe. You feel it in the way your jaw releases, in the way your fingers uncurl, in the way your breath sighs along. Slow exhale into peace. This is the place where plenty begins, not in the numbers, not in the metrics, but in the softness of someone who finally believes, I am allowed to have good things. Let that belief settle now. Let it sink deeper. Let it reach the quiet corners where you once held guilt for wanting more, where you once believed receiving was selfish, where you once tightened your joy to match someone else's limits. You are letting that go. You are softening now into a truth that was always yours. There is no glory in lack. There is no virtue in self-denial. There is only exhaustion in believing that you must always go without. Not anymore. Tonight, you become receptive, not because you demand, but because you allow, because you trust, because you feel the energy of having before it has even arrived. You picture a soft, glowing lap, a divine presence, an endless source of nurture. It welcomes you to lie down. No conditions, no obligations, only love. And so, you curl into it like a child returning home, like a soul returning to source. This lap of plenty holds you. It whispers, you don't have to worry now. You don't have to chase. You are held. You are fed. You are enough. And as you listen, your energy shifts again. You drop deeper, not into sleep just yet, but into readiness, the kind of readiness that is soft, like silk between your fingers, the kind of readiness that is silent, like stars knowing the morning will come. You feel yourself glowing now, not outwardly, but inwardly, as if your soul is smiling without your face needing to move. You are filled not with things, but with feeling, the feeling of peace, the feeling of presence, the feeling of wealth before it ever appears on a screen, because real wealth is not just what you have, It's how you feel when you have nothing to prove, and you have nothing to prove. You are already in the lap of plenty, already surrounded by what you need, already vibrating at the level of what's coming. You don't chase, you don't plead. You trust that, and trust becomes your invitation. You imagine now the future flowing toward you, not in a straight line, but in golden spirals, winding, weaving, dancing like silk ribbons through the air. Each one holds something beautiful, a gift, a surprise, a provision. They are not coming because you worked harder. They are coming because you matched them, because you became soft enough to receive. You don't need to carry the weight of how. You don't need to hold the burden of when. You only need to believe that you're already held, and you are. You let your mind rest now, like a bird folding its wings. There are no more loops to run, no more questions to repeat. Only this moment, only this peace. You are worthy of ease. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of blessings that arrive while you sleep. Let that idea take root. Let it bloom into the thought, I don't need to do more to deserve more. Let it grow into the knowing, I am already abundant. And from that knowing, let your energy bloom like a flower in moonlight, petals wide, heart open, roots deep. The universe waters you now, not because you asked the right way, but because you finally stopped resisting. It always wanted to give, it always wanted to pour into you, but it waited for the moment you would stop clenching, proving, shrinking, and that moment is now. You lie still, and the current of abundance flows toward you from every direction, from known places, and from places you can't yet imagine. You don't need to track it, you don't need to prepare for it. You only need to remain in the state, open, peaceful, ready. The lap you sleep in tonight is more than comfort. It is alignment, it is safety. It is the permission to feel rich before riches arrive, to feel full before anything is filled, to feel supported before anyone shows up to support you. That is your power. That is the abundance you carry in every cell of your being. It is your nature. It is your home. It is your inheritance. And you are reclaiming it now. Not by standing tall, but by lying still, by letting the world love you in ways you once blocked. The love is here. The wealth is here. The plenty is here. And you are here, too, finally, fully. And just before sleep takes you, you feel it, a whisper from the center of everything. You are not alone. You are not without. You are already in the lap of all you've asked for, and somewhere beyond even these thoughts, just past the veil of dreaming, you begin to sense something new beginning to bloom. Love does not rush in like a storm. It arrives like breath, slow, unseen, but vital. And tonight, as the world quiets around you, you begin to feel the space where love has been waiting to land. This is not about who or when. This is not about whether it's near or far. This is about becoming a home for love to return to. You lie still now. Your breath softens. Your heart begins to settle. And with each exhale, you clear a little more space, not outside. You inside. Because love does not need to be found. It needs to be welcomed. And welcome begins with room. Tonight is not about seeking. Tonight is about preparing the soil, not with pressure, not with plans, but with presence. You imagine now your heart as a room, a quiet, light-filled room that has been collecting dust, not because it is broken, but because it has been waiting for the right moment to open again. And this moment is that moment. You take a slow, deep breath and imagine opening the windows. You feel fresh air sweep through. You see old papers lifted by the breeze, old stories, old disappointments. Old beliefs that told you love must be earned, chased, deserved through sacrifice. Let them rise now. Let them lift. Let them be carried out with your breath. You are cleansing this space. The space where love will arrive. The space where it will rest. The space where it will stay. You do not need to redesign yourself for love. You only need to make space. Space to be seen. Space to be held. Space to be chosen without trying. And in this space, you begin to remember something sacred. Love is not given in exchange for something. It is not payment for perfection. It is not a reward for struggle. Love is a match, a resonance, a meeting place. And when you are clear, love finds you more easily, because clarity makes you visible. So you clear now, gently, without pain, without force. You let go of the idea that you have to be less of anything, less emotional, less intense, less vulnerable. And you also release the idea that you must be more beautiful, more accomplished, more easy to love. You are not a project. You are a soul. And love speaks the language of soul, not achievement. You feel your shoulders drop, your hands open, the space inside your chest widening with soft, golden light. This is your invitation, not written in ink, but in energy. You send it out now, not as desperation, but as readiness. The soft whisper of someone who no longer begs for love, but believes in it. You are ready to be met, not rescued, met in truth, in wholeness, in calm. And that readiness is magnetic. You picture now placing flowers on the windowsill of your heart, tiny tokens of joy, a signal that someone is welcome here, even if you don't know their name, even if you don't know the time. You prepare the space as if they're already on the way, because that is trust, that is attraction. The law of attraction responds to how you feel, not just what you say. And when you feel ready, when you feel whole, when you feel loving, love finds you, not as a gift, as a mirror. So you tend to your inner space, you sweep out the doubt, you dust the corners of past pain, you fluff the pillows of your soul and say, when you arrive, there will be room for you here. And as you do, something inside shifts. You realize you're not waiting for love. You're becoming love. You begin to glow with it, not in show, but in truth. Kind of glow that says, I know how to be soft. I know how to stay open. I know that love is safe again. This safety is everything. It is the soil. It is the light. It is the water that love needs to grow. And you are giving it to yourself first. You lie back deeper into your bed and let yourself be wrapped in your own love. Let it fill you. Not because someone else gave it, but because it was always yours to give. You begin to feel that you are no longer seeking something outside you. You are calling forward a reflection of the love you already hold. And that reflection, that person, that experience feels you now, somewhere beyond time, somewhere just outside the veil of sleep. They feel your readiness. They feel your openness. They feel your light returning to its natural frequency. Love responds to openness, not urgency. And you are open now, softly, completely, beautifully. You breathe into that openness. Let it expand. Let it hum. And as you do, you begin to feel not just the space you've made, but the presence that's approaching it. Not a face, not a name, but a vibration, a nearness, a recognition. They are coming closer. Not because you reached, but because you cleared the way. And just before sleep carries you deeper, you whisper with no voice, when you arrive, I'll be ready. And the wind carries that whisper forward to someone already listening. Tonight you turn inward, not in retreat, but in return, to the heart of you, to the center, to the place where love begins. Because all the love you've ever sought already lives inside you. You have been searching, yes, yearning, waiting, aching, but not for something outside, not really. You have been searching for your own reflection, for the version of you who knows how to love without fear, how to hold without holding back, how to stay soft without folding, how to be full before anyone arrives. And tonight, you become that version. You begin with breath. Inhale slowly. Let your chest rise like the moon over a quiet sea. Exhale gently. Let it fall into stillness. Let it say, I am safe to feel. This is the beginning of everything. Safety. Safety to be soft. Safety to be seen. Safety to love. First, yourself. You imagine your heart now as a warm, glowing ember. Not a fire yet. Just the beginning, but steady, alive, waiting to be tended. You sit beside it in your inner world. You do not poke or prod. You simply stay close and you say, I'm here. I'm listening. I want to know you better. This is how you begin becoming love, not by receiving it from someone else, but by becoming the one who gives it to yourself. Gently, daily, faithfully. You remember the times you waited for someone to choose you, to say you mattered, to fill the quiet places in you that longed for warmth. But now you see that longing was never for them. It was always a call from within. And you are answering it now. You reach into your own chest, not with hands, but with presence. You wrap yourself in the arms you once extended outward. You say, I forgive myself for thinking love lived outside me. I forgive myself for withholding love from myself. I choose right now to be what I've been waiting for. And your body hears you. Your cells soften. You're nervous. System sighs, because this is healing. You're not waiting anymore. You're blooming. Not for attention, but from attention. Not to be chosen, but because you have already chosen yourself. You see yourself now as the one who stays when you're tired, when you're confused, when you're unsure. You become the love that never walks away. And in that constancy, you grow radiant because love is not a costume. It's not a currency. It's not a mask. It is your nature. You were made to love, not just others, but yourself. In the quiet moments, in the messy ones, in the ones no one sees. That is where self-love begins. In the forgiveness you offer yourself when you fall short. In the grace you extend when you're afraid. In the patience you practice when the healing takes longer than you hoped. You are doing that now. And the ember in your heart glows brighter. You imagine it expanding into a fire. Then a glow, then a field of golden light filling your chest and spilling out beyond your body. This light is your signal, your beacon, your magnet, because when you become the love you seek, you attract mirrors, reflections, resonance. Not because you chase, because you resonate. The law of attraction responds to your state, and your state right now is one of becoming. You are no longer seeking something missing. You are amplifying something true, and the universe responds. You picture someone, not a face, not a name, but a feeling being drawn to your light. They feel your warmth, your groundedness, your glow. They feel your steadiness, not in performance, but in peace, because you have learned how to sit beside your own soul and say, you are loved. And love like that is rare, magnetic, undeniable. You are no longer waiting for a grand romance to complete you. You are already in sacred union with yourself. And that union changes everything. You walk differently, speak differently, choose differently. You no longer settle for almost love, for almost honesty, for almost truth, because you've seen what real love feels like, and it begins with you. You rest now in that love, not because you figured it all out, but because you've stopped abandoning yourself. And when you stop abandoning yourself, you stop attracting those who mirror that abandonment. You begin to draw in those who match your inner devotion, who love like you love, who stay like you stay, who offer what you've already become. It's not a fantasy, it's alignment. It begins inside, and it is already happening. You feel it now, in your breath, in your stillness, in the warmth growing behind your ribs. You are no longer waiting for love. You are living it, and it is radiant, not loud, but true, not perfect, but present, not conditional, but constant. You lie back now, deeper into your bed, deeper into yourself, and you feel that you are full, not from someone else, from you, from the love you offered to every hurt part of you, to every tired part, to every version that wondered, am I enough? You answered yes, and now you are held. You wrap your arms around yourself in your mind, in your breath, and you say, this is how I will always love you. And in that promise you glow. And somewhere in the quiet field beyond time, someone else feels that glow. Not as a signal of desperation, but as an invitation. Because love meets you when you become what you've been looking for. And just as sleep begins to take you deeper, you feel that a presence drawing near, not to complete you, but to match. Night holds you now, softly, fully, lovingly. You have traveled far, not in distance, but inward. Through layers of longing, through memories and mirrors. Through tenderness returned to its source. And now, you drift in the space between breaths, between moments, between now and what's next. This is the space where love whispers, not with words, but with warmth, not with answers, but with knowing, because love does not always arrive with footsteps or doorbells. Sometimes it first arrives in dreams. Tonight, you prepare to meet a future love, not in fantasy, but in frequency. Not in desperation, but in alignment, not because you need them, but because you are ready in the deepest way, not to be saved, but to be met. You lie still and imagine your heart glowing like a lantern in the dark, not searching, just shining somewhere. Someone else shines too. You don't know their name. You don't need to, because this is not about faces, it's about resonance. And your light, it has a match. You begin to feel them now, not arriving, but present. Not as an idea, but as an energy that fits into the space you prepared. This is love not as pursuit, but as presence. Love that does not rush in with fireworks, but steps gently into the garden you've tended, the one blooming in your soul, the one that grew from the seeds of your own becoming. You walk there now in your dreamscape, barefoot, unhurried, the moon above, the earth beneath. And ahead, beneath the tree you always return to in your quietest moments. You feel them, a presence, not imaginary, just not embodied. Yet they turn slowly, and they smile, not because they just discovered you, but because they've always known. In this dream, nothing is awkward, Nothing is uncertain, everything fits. There are no roles to play, no walls to keep up. You are fully you, they are fully them. And in that truth, a current of peace runs between you. Sit beside each other without speaking. There is no need, the silence says everything. I see you. I've felt you for so long. I'm here now. No rush, you lean your head on their shoulder, not to escape, but to rest. Because love should feel like this, like rest, like home, like rival. And you realize something, you are not meeting them in this dream for the first time. You are remembering, because your energy has touched before. Because your soul has whispered across timelines that you are ready, that you are open, that your love is no longer locked away. And tonight that whisper was heard. You rest there now in their presence, letting their energy wrap around you like a warm shawl. You don't need to know how it will unfold. You don't need to control the story. The love is real. The timing is divine. The readiness is mutual. You feel them place a hand over your heart, gently, reverently, as if to say, I will hold this with care, and you believe them. Not because of promises, but because of peace. This is love that doesn't ask you to become smaller. This is love that meets you in your expansion. This is love that flows without fear. And you are finally ready to receive it. Your dream shifts not away, but deeper. You see flashes of what's coming, mornings where your laughter fills the room, evenings where your silence is enough, hands that reach without needing, eyes that say, I'm not going anywhere. It is not perfect, but it is whole, and it is real. Because love, true love, doesn't promise a life without storms. It promises someone to hold your hand through them, and this love holds your hand now. You return to the tree, your place of stillness. The presence begins to fade, not in loss, but in trust. You are not losing them. You are releasing the grip of needing them now, because you know the connection is made. Roots are intertwined, the path is unfolding, and you will meet again. Only in dreams, but in breath, in life, in timing that you don't need to control. You lie back in your dream and let the moonlight wash over you. You say thank you with your heart, with your energy, with your calm, and you drift, not empty, but full. Full of a love you no longer chase, full of a love you now magnetize. Because you are no longer the seeker, you are the signal, the welcome, the soft yes that love has been listening for. And as your breath deepens, as your thoughts fade to stars, you feel it. You are not alone in this dream. You never were. And just beyond this sleep, a meaning begins to bloom tonight. You come home, not to a place, but to your body, the quiet vessel that has carried you through every moment. The gentle keeper of your breath, the silent witness to your becoming. You are not here to fix anything. You are here to remember your body is not a problem. It is a partner. It is listening. Always. And when you love it, it responds. You lie. Still, blankets rise and fall with your breath, and you feel it, the rhythm of life within you. Steady, present, sacred. This is where healing begins. Not with effort, but with softness. You place your awareness in your chest, not to judge, but to greet, to say gently, I see you, and your body sighs, as if it's been waiting for this moment of reunion. You've been so strong, haven't you? So busy holding everything together, so accustomed to surviving, to pushing past pain, to ignoring the quiet whispers that said, please rest, please listen. Tonight you listen, not like a doctor, not like a critic, but like a lover. You listen with grace, with reverence, with slowness, because your body is not a machine, it is a garden. And gardens do not bloom under pressure. They bloom under patience, under love, under sunlight that says you are allowed to grow in your own time. So you speak now, not aloud, but with energy. You say thank you to your lungs for the thousands of breaths they've given you without asking. To your heart for beating through every high and low, even when it broke, even when it soared. To your legs for carrying you through every place you've needed to go, even when you forgot to be grateful. To your skin for protecting you, for holding you together when the world felt like it might fall apart. You whisper your thanks and your body softens more, because it has never needed perfection, only permission to feel, to heal, to be healed. You lie deeper into the mattress, your hands relaxed, your jaw released, and you imagine now a golden warmth moving from your head down your spine, down your arms, down your legs. This is not light you create. It is light that was always within you. Your healing light, your loving light. You let it touch every part of you that aches, every cell that remembers pain, Every place that once felt rejected for not being fast enough, thin enough, perfect enough. You whisper, you don't have to be anything but mine, and your body believes you. Because love is the most healing medicine there is, you picture. Now each organ, each muscle, each cell responding to that vibration of love. Like flowers turning toward the sun. Like rivers remembering how to flow. Your body knows how to heal. It always has. It only needed you to believe it again. You're not broken, you're blooming. And this blooming is not always visible. It is quiet, internal, tender. It happens while you sleep, while you dream, while you rest in the knowing that healing does not need urgency. It needs safety. You give your body that safety now. Not just through stillness, but through devotion. You make a silent promise not to fight it anymore. Not to speak harshly about it, not to measure it by mirrors or numbers or scales. You promise to speak softly, to feed it lovingly, to move it joyfully, not as punishment, but as celebration. Because this body, this sacred shell, has never stopped trying for you. And now you try for it. Gently, slowly, lovingly, you place one hand on your belly. Feel the rise and fall. That is life. That is proof. You do not need to perform health. You simply need to allow it. Your immune system listens to your thoughts. Your nervous system listens to your breath. Your heart listens to your joy. And joy is a powerful prescription. You breathe in joy now, not the loud kind. Kind that feels like lavender in the air, like warm sun through a window, like forgiveness you finally gave yourself. Your body drinks it in. You feel tiny shifts, not dramatic, but sure, a sense of peace behind your eyes, a looseness in your hips, a calm in your gut that says we are no longer in danger. You are safe. You are healing. You are. Old. Not tomorrow, not when the symptoms disappear, but now, because healing is not a finish line, it is a frequency. And you are living it, breathing it, becoming it. You imagine your future self now. The one who moves with ease, who wakes up without pain, who stretches like the morning sky and smiles at their reflection. You see them. They look like peace. They look like trust. They look like you, but rested, restored, respected. You are becoming them. Not through force, but through love. And tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, you say one last thing to your body. I will never leave you again. And your body believes you at last and begins to bloom while you dream. You are made of light, even now as the night hushes the noise of the day. You glow softly from within, not because you try, but because it is your nature. You are not broken. You are radiant. And tonight you remember that again. You lie still, wrapped in warmth, breathing slowly like the tide moving in and out, gently washing away the tightness, the worry, the idea that healing must be hard. Because sometimes the greatest healing begins when you stop efforting and simply soften. Tonight you soften into your breath, into your body, into the glow that has always lived inside you. Picture now a gentle golden light sitting behind your heart. Not blinding, not fiery, but steady like a quiet flame in a lantern. This light is your essence, your life force, the part of you that cannot be bruised, cannot be diminished, cannot be taken away. It shines even in grief, even in fatigue, even in the days when everything feels too much. It waits patiently, not for the perfect moment, but for the quiet one. And this is that moment. You place your awareness there now, right behind the breastbone, that sacred center. And you feel it, the warmth, the hum, the soft yes that says we can begin again. You don't need to know the science. You don't need to analyze the how. Your only job is to remember that healing responds to energy, and energy responds to belief. So tonight you believe in gentle miracles, you believe in deep restoration, you believe that the body listens to intention, and your intention now is love. Not loud love, quiet, nurturing, unconditional love. You breathe it in through your nose into your heart. Imagine it fanning the flame inside. The light expands. First behind your ribs, then up into your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. It spreads with grace, no urgency, no effort. Just like dawn. It moves through your belly, down your legs, into your feet, out through your crown. And now you are glowing, a being of light, lying still, held by blankets and gravity and something greater. You feel it now, a shift. Not dramatic, but undeniable. It's the feeling of your body receiving the message. You are loved. You are safe. You are free to heal. You don't need to control the pace. You don't need to monitor progress. Your only task is to trust the light, to let it do what it knows how to do, because healing is not always a roar. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's the moment you stop blaming yourself for being tired. Sometimes it's the choice to rest without guilt. That's what you're doing now. You let go. Let go of the timelines. Let go of the fear. Let go of the story that says you must always be better to be whole. You are whole now. In the glow, in the breath, in the softness of this night. You picture now a place inside your body that has held pain, maybe for days, maybe for years. You do not approach it with frustration. You approach it like a friend. You say, I see you. I honor what you've carried. I'm here now. And you place your golden light. Bare. Let it wrap that place in warmth. Let it soak into every cell. Let it whisper, you don't need to hold this alone anymore. The pain does not vanish, but it softens, it unclenches, it begins to trust that it's finally safe to release. Your body doesn't need to fight anymore. It can rest, it can receive, it can rebuild while you dream. You feel a new kind of relaxation now, not just muscles letting go, but memory, old energy clearing, tension melting like snow under sun. You are returning. Not to who you were, but to who you've always been beneath the noise. Light, peace, balance. You imagine every organ recalibrating, every nerve calming, every cell realigning with the truth of wellness. This is not fantasy. This is the quiet intelligence of your body responding to love. You rest deeper. The light continues its quiet sweep, gentle waves washing over shorelines of muscle and thought. You remember now, your body is not the enemy. It is your first home, your wisest teacher. And when treated with reverence, it becomes your sanctuary. So tonight, you dwell in that sanctuary. You say, I forgive you, body, for the days I was angry with you. I'm sorry for the times I abandoned your signals. Thank you for not giving up on me. And the light grows even warmer in response. Because the body does not need perfection. It needs presence, compassion, patience. It will meet you there every time you picture your future self again. The one who moves with fluid grace, who wakes with joy, who stretches, smiles, and feels light. They are not a fantasy. They are an echo, a call from the part of you that already exists in wellness. And you answer that call now, not with force, but with flow. You allow your dream to form not as a goal, but as a feeling, the feeling of waking up whole, the feeling, loving your body again, the feeling of trusting your light. And you drift toward that feeling now, like a leaf carried by a golden stream. No rush. No struggle, just surrender, because in surrender, the light works best. You have nothing left to fix tonight, nothing to prove, no pressure to hold, only this moment, only this glow, only this breath. And as the light settles gently into every inch, you whisper one final thing before sleep. Let the healing continue while I rest. And the light answers with silence, soft and sacred. As the night carries you deeper toward what you've always been becoming, you are not doing, you are allowing, you are not fixing, you are receiving, you are not forcing, you are becoming. And right now, as sleep begins to cradle you, your body begins the sacred work it's always known how to do. Healing softly, silently, naturally. Not because you commanded, but because you surrender to it. You rest, and your body rises to meet that rest with restoration. There is a sacred intelligence woven into every part of you, a quiet orchestra of cells, each one holding memory, each one carrying instructions on how to mend, renew, and rebalance. And tonight, they begin their gentle music, not with drama, not with urgency, but with the slow, certain rhythm of trust. You imagine now a temple within your body, lit softly by golden lanterns. Inside, quiet figures work with devotion, repairing, rewiring, restoring. They do not need your help, only your permission. And tonight, you give it freely. You whisper, you may begin now. I trust you. And like a garden given sunlight, your body responds. You feel it in the warmth behind your heart, in the looseness of your jaw, in the gentle pull of gravity guiding you deeper into the earth. This is where healing happens best. Not in effort, but in ease. Not in noise, but in stillness. Not in control, but in surrender. You surrender now, to breath, to gravity, to the rhythm of your own divine repair. Picture your breath now like a soft wind moving through a forest. Each inhale brushes gently across your organs, whispering, you are loved. Each exhale releases what is no longer needed, tension, worry, old stories of pain. There is no rush, only rhythm, only rest. You are not behind, you're right on. Time. Your body is not late to heal. It is waiting for the invitation. And sleep is that invitation. As your brain waves slow, your cells awaken in their own sacred way. Your immune system rises like quiet guardians lighting lanterns along dark corridors. Your muscles begin to soften, no longer needing to brace or protect. Your blood flows smoother, delivering life to every distant edge of your being. And your nervous system sighs, finally, peace. There is a sleep deeper than dreaming, place where your subconscious meets your soul and they work hand in hand to rewrite the story of your body. That's where you are going now. Not out into fantasy, but in toward restoration. You are not escaping the body, you are returning to it, trusting its quiet power, its sacred ability to make all things new. You may not feel it happening, but it is, like flowers blooming in the dark, like stars aligning behind clouds. You don't need to witness it to believe it. You only need to allow. And you do, right now. With every breath, you offer yourself to healing. You are not the problem. You are the healer, not through fixing, but through listening. You listen now to your body's quiet gratitude. It feels seen. It feels safe. It feels supported. And in that support, it begins. Tissues repair. Hormones rebalance. Cells regenerate. Emotions process and pass, not because of medicine, not because of effort, but because you slept deeply, willingly, trustingly. You feel your future self draw near, healthy, vibrant, peaceful, not a stranger, but a memory returning. You see them walking in the sun, stretching with ease, breathing freely, laughing without tightness in the chest, and you smile because you realize that version is already blooming inside you. It only needs rest, repetition, and trust, and you give all three now. You do not chase results. You cultivate readiness. You stay in your frequency of healing, and that frequency is powerful. It speaks to every part of your being. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to feel good again. You are worthy of health, and your body believes you. It believes you more with each exhale, more with each softened muscle, more with each drop into deeper sleep. You are not alone in this work. The universe itself supports healing. Nature returns to balance, so do you. You are made of the same materials as stars. You are built for rebirth. You are designed for light. Even now, as your conscious mind begins to slip away, your subconscious is listening carefully, gathering every belief, every affirmation, every message of love, and weaving it into your cells like golden thread. You whisper one more truth. I am healing, even when I don't see it. And that truth becomes your reality, not because of effort, but because of alignment. You do not fight your body anymore. You dance with it, gently, like waves, like breath. You let sleep become the sacred ground where your healing grows. And just before you drift all the way down, you feel it, a new hum, a softness in your chest, a warmth in your belly, a lightness behind your eyes. Your body is blooming, quietly, steadily, beautifully. And the next time you wake, you will carry that healing forward. But for now, you simply rest, float, glow, and allow the sacred, silent work to continue. There is no need to chase, no need to grasp, no need to strain, because abundance, true, gentle, endless abundance, is not a prize you must earn. It is a river, and tonight you remember how to float in it. You lie still now, wrapped in quiet, your body soft, your heart open, your breath slow and even, and you feel it, a hum beneath your skin, a pulse beneath your thoughts. It's the current, the flow, the truth that you are always supported. You've been taught to struggle, to measure, to count every penny, every effort, every ounce of your worth and outcomes. But not tonight. Tonight, you remember a different way, the original way, the sacred rhythm of receiving without fear. You close your eyes and picture yourself at the edge. A wide river, its waters shimmer not with speed, but with certainty. They flow from unseen mountains, carrying everything you could ever need, not just money, but ease. Just comfort, but peace, not just gain, but grace. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. And tonight, you step into that water. Not to swim, not to wade. But to float. To let the current carry you to all that is already yours. You lean back, arms open, palms relaxed, heart unguarded. And the river welcomes you. It does not ask questions. It does not demand credentials. It simply receives your trust and gives you motion in return. You drift now, carried gently by this river of plenty, and you realize you are not here to push upstream. You are here to remember that life wants to give to you. It always has, even The delays, even the detours, they were not denials. They were pauses to align your frequency with your desires. You rest deeper into the current. And in this place of calm receiving, you whisper to yourself, I am supported, always. I am connected to infinite supply. There is more than enough. I release all scarcity now. The words echo softly, not as commands, but as invitations, and the river responds. You feel it carry you through memories that once held. Lack, old fears of not having enough, old stories of struggle, old definitions of success. You watch them from the water like leaves on the surface. You do not cling. You do not resist. You simply let them pass because those stories are not who you are. They are who you outgrew. And now, you are remembering the truth beneath them. You are abundance. You are flow. You are the river itself. The current quickens, not with chaos, but with clarity. It brings to you visions of all you are calling in. Unexpected gifts, open doors, surprising opportunities, and the joy of saying yes to things that once felt too big. You don't need to know how it will all arrive. You only need to stay in the current, to trust the tide, to keep your heart open even when your eyes cannot yet see. You let go now of the grip of needing to know, the tightness of how, the heaviness of when, because the when is always now, and the how is always love. You feel yourself relax more deeply, your shoulders loosen, your jaw unhooks, your thoughts quiet, and in that quiet, you hear something sacred, a truth rising from your soul. I have never been separate from abundance, and you have it. Every tree that grows, every wave that rolls, every star that shines. They do not ask permission to be plentiful. They simply are. So are you. You feel that truth settle in your chest, like warmth, like gravity, like peace. This river you float in does not dry up when you sleep. It does not slow when you rest out. In fact, rest is how you let it carry you faster. Because alignment is always faster than action, energy precedes everything. And your energy now is soft and open and ready to receive. You feel the current change. Again, this time bringing gifts, not objects, not money even, but feelings, a sudden idea, a burst of clarity, a deep sense of, yes, that's mine. This is what the river does. It doesn't just carry resources, it carries recognition. It shows you yourself, wealthy and whole. You picture now a version of you on the shore, a future self, already abundant, already flowing. They wave to you, not in farewell, but in welcome. Because you are arriving, you are almost there. This version, you does not chase, they attract. They smile often, they give freely. They receive even more, and they remember this was never about having more. It was about becoming more open to what already was. You drift closer now to that version. And the waters glow. Because when you rest and trust, the river of abundance speeds up. Not chaotically, gracefully. You pass by scenes, moments still to come, a check in the mail, a yes from a stranger. An idea that changes everything. You don't grab, you don't reach, you simply let them arrive, because that is what abundance does. It arrives. When you are aligned, when you are soft, when you are open, like you are now, you feel sleep drawing near. And with it, a new kind of wealth. Not in things, but in knowing that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you are ready. You are no longer standing on the bank waiting. You are in the river. You are being carried, and everything is already on its way to you. You whisper, I receive, I allow, I float, and the river answers not with words, but with motion. And you let it carry you now into dreams kissed with golden tides toward all that was already yours. You wake within the dream, not with alarm, but with awareness. A deeper stillness surrounds you now, not silence, but presence. You are floating still, but something inside you stirs gently, like a star blinking awake in the night sky. It is belief, soft, subtle, sacred belief, and it draws abundance not by force, but by frequency, because belief is not a chant. It is not a wish. It is not even a thought. It is a vibration. A soft magnet that tells the universe, I'm ready now, and the universe listens. You lie still now, wrapped in the hush of surrender, not asking, just allowing. You feel your breath, the soft rise and fall of your chest, the pulse behind your eyes, the hum of life that says, yes, you are here, you are real, you are worthy. You bring your awareness inward to that quiet space where belief lives, not loud, not proud, but steady. Enduring, soft like moss, but rooted like mountains. You ask now, gently, what do I believe about abundance? Not from the mind, from the heart, From the body, you listen not to words but to feelings. And you feel it. Some stories still linger, the old fears, the echoes of childhood lessons, the scarcity passed down like heirlooms, but you do not resist them. You welcome them, because to shift belief, you must first meet it. You greet the voice that says, "There's never enough." You say, "Thank you for protecting me." You greet the whisper that says, "Others get more than me." You say, "I see you. You don't have to guard anymore." You greet the ache that says, "Maybe I don't deserve it." You say, "You are safe now. You belong." And one by one, the old beliefs loosen, not banished, but soften, given room to rest, to release, because fear cannot live where gentleness breathes. You breathe now, and into that space you invite a new belief, not shouted, not proven, just felt. There is more than enough. And you let that truth settle like snow on the fields of your subconscious. You do not force it. You do not beg it. You just allow it to glow there, a quiet ember of possibility. That ember begins to grow. You feel it in your belly. A warmth that says, "I expect good things now." You feel it in your chest. A soft openness that says, "I am available to receive." You feel it in your hands. A tingling that says, "I am a magnet for blessings." And belief builds not in leaps, but in layers, like morning light slowly spreading over a sleeping world. You picture now a garden inside you, a space where all your beliefs about abundance are planted. Some are weeds, some are wild flowers, some are just seeds waiting for your permission to grow. You walk there now, barefoot, unhurried, gentle. You tend to the soil. You pull the old roots with love, not anger. You plant new ones. I am worthy. I am provided for. I am supported by unseen hands. My dreams are not too big. You water them with attention. You whisper to them with faith. And you know, belief takes time. But belief also responds to repetition, to care, to love. Just like you leave the garden now. But you know it will grow while you rest, while you dream, while you breathe in peace. You return to your stillness and feel your magnetism growing, not in intensity, in resonance. You are beginning to match the frequency of what you desire. You are no longer asking from lack. You are welcoming from fullness. This is the new way. This is the soft way. This is the way of belief. You drift deeper into your pillow now, the blanket cocooning you like trust itself. And you feel your desires not as distant, but as present, not as fantasy, but as facts unfolding. You let yourself imagine a door opening, a check arriving, a message of yes, a surprise that delights. A moment that reminds you, I am chosen. You do not force these images, you flow through them. You do not cling to them, you thank them, because belief is not obsession, it is quiet. Expectation, it is knowing that the tide will come, so you build your sandcastle in peace. You are that peace now, and that peace pulls blessings to you without noise, without chase. You lie still, you believe softly, and you feel the magnetic hum inside you drawing all that is aligned. All that is loving, all that is abundant, closer. You do not rush, you rest, and your belief continues its work. While you do nothing but dream, you no longer reach, you no longer ask, you simply rest, because now you understand abundance doesn't arrive through effort, it arrives through readiness. And tonight, you are ready. You sink into your bed, into the hush between thoughts, into the quiet hum of trust that lives in the deepest part of you. Your breathing slows, your muscles soften. The space around you feels warm, like the invisible arms of something vast and loving and generous. You are not waiting anymore. You are receiving softly, silently, like roots absorbing rain in the night. There is no rush, only resonance. There is no need, only knowing. The universe speaks in frequency, and right now, yours says, I am open, I am grateful, I am already full. This is the final step of abundance, not the asking, not the believing, but the resting, the trust that what is yours is not far. It is arriving, and it knows exactly where to find you. You picture yourself now, not striving, but glowing, not doing, but allowing, not seeking, but shining. Your very presence becomes the invitation. You are the open window the breeze of blessings drifts through. You are the fertile soil into which life plants joy, and you receive it not with grasping hands, but with a calm heart. Tonight, you rest in that heart. You let gratitude rise, not for what you hope to get, but for what is already here. The softness of the sheets, the gift of this breath, the warmth of knowing you are finally safe. You do not need to prove. You do not need to earn. You do not need to struggle. You are already enough, already worthy, already chosen, and everything that belongs to you is flowing toward you even now in your stillness. You feel it, a warm pull in your chest, like a door unlocking inside you, a memory of ease, a promise kept by the stars, a yes written in the sky long before you ask. You breathe into that space, and with every exhale, you release what no longer fits, the doubt, the fear, the impulse to chase. They float out of you like mist, like morning fog lifting from a quiet lake dot, and in their place clarity, not loud, not sharp, soft clarity, the kind that smiles, the kind that feels like home. You rest in that now. You imagine your life, abundant, expansive, free dot, not someday, now. Because receiving does not begin when the outer world changes. It begins when your inner world stops resisting, and you have stopped. You are no longer fighting the current. You are no longer trying to convince yourself. You are no longer searching for signs, because the sign was always your peace, and peace is what you are becoming. You feel it in your breath. You feel it in your bones. You feel it in the space between heartbeats. Your life is already shifting because you are aligned. And alignment magnetizes everything you see yourself walking with ease, speaking with joy, giving without fear, receiving without guilt. This is not fiction. This is not fantasy. This is the you who always knew abundance was natural. And now you are remembering. You feel it all flowing to you in unseen ways through unseen hands, guided by something far bigger than logic, because the universe does not operate on effort. It moves by energy, and your energy says, yes, I am ready. You do not micromanage. You do not bargain. You do not beg. You rest, and in that rest you rise. Like the tide, like the moon, like everything in nature that trusts its own cycle. You are part of that nature, not separate from it. You are not the exception. You are the proof. And the more you sleep, the more abundance prepares itself, gathering, aligning, coming closer with every breath you take. You feel it brushing against your dreams, opportunities, connections, ideas, timing. Each one drawn by your stillness, each one eager to meet you. You let go of timelines. You let go of expectations. You let go of urgency. Because you no longer want things to arrive fast. You want them to arrive aligned. And alignment comes through rest. So tonight, you do nothing but trust. You let the river carry you. You let the magnet inside you hum. You let the seed of belief bloom quietly. And as you drift deeper, you whisper to the universe, thank you. I receive. I remember. And the universe, with all its stars and all its seasons and all its silent miracles, whispers back, you always have. And now you sleep, cradled by the current, held by the knowing. Your only task now is to rest, while the abundance continues to arrive.